Hey guys, welcome to another video. We're doing another tech today. Before we do that, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, all that stuff if you want to check out more of my content and watch out for future uploads. So I saw this list and it has just all of the cards that I really enjoy, and I didn't think it would work so well. But I'm fairly impressed with it. I think it's still kind of weak to combo decks, but anyways, we'll talk about this. So we got an interesting collection of kind of the best Izzet cards that Historic has to offer. So yeah, so going down the line here, the deck, we'll get into the spells first, but I wanted to talk about, the creatures here. We got Terramander, which is a 1-drop creature that, in the late game can adapt to become a 5/5. It kind of just says, hey, kill this or, don't, and potentially take a bunch of damage. And it's also important for chart, of course. So this is does need a 1-drop, and this kind of makes the most sense for it to be, as opposed to, like Soul Scar Mage, or, I'm not a Siren Storm Tamer. Like I just can't think of another 1-drop that would be better than Terramander. Moving on to the rest of our creatures, we got the adventure creatures in Brazen Bar and Bone Crusher Giant. Just have proven to be just solid mid-range cards, so of course they're here. Yeah, I kind of don't feel like I don't need to talk about them. But then we got 4 copies of Rekindling Phoenix, which is great in any mid-range deck. It basically, requires a 2-for-1 unless the exile or the removal exiles it, or something like that. So any kind of wrath, Wrath of God, Shatter or Shatter the Sky, any of those effects will kill it, but then it will put the egg creature onto the battlefield, egg or elemental, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so great card that kind of demands a 2-for-1 most of the time. And then last but not least, of course, the powerhouse known as Glorybringer. Can just be a gigantic beater in the air, but can also snipe creatures and just make for lethal. Now moving on to the rest of our spells here. So we have Opt as a cantrip, important to smooth out the draws. 2 copies of Lightning Axe and 2 copies of Magma Spray, just kind of splitting up the removal. Some for large creatures, whereas some for small creatures or recursive creatures like Scrap Heap Scrounger and things like that. Chart, of course, as I talked about, we don't have to enable it in order for it to be good, but 1-drop in 1-drop Terramander into 2-drop Chart, of course, is great, and can just again smooth out draws, and works because again this deck wants to be dealing some damage. And then the last few spells here, you got Flame Sweep, which I know looks kind of weird, but really makes sense considering that we have Terramander and Brazen Borrower in the deck, which this doesn't affect those, so we can potentially, sweep a board of small creatures while still maintaining our presence on the board. And then last, we got 3 copies of Ionize, which I think, works really well for this deck. You might say, why not Sinister Sabotage? Why not other spells? And it's because the 2 damage. So first of all, I would say also the mana cost is less intensive, where having double blue as opposed to red and blue is less restrictive, but also this deck does want to again deal damage and play a tempo strategy, so it works very well for this deck. And then last, we got 2 copies of Chandra Torch of Defiance, again one of the best top of the line red cards that you could ask for. Yeah, not much to say. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse if I talk more about Chandra. For the sideboard here, I really like the sideboard because it's fairly straightforward. A lot of times it can be confusing a sideboard, and these have a lot of 3-ofs and a lot of choices that are pretty straightforward as to why you would bring it in. So like Tormod Script, again, graveyard strategies. Abrade, again, straightforward if they have artifacts. Mystical Dispute against blue decks. Narset is pretty straightforward against, Uro decks or any decks that want to draw cards. Anger the Gods for go-wide strategies. And then Chandra and Izzet as uncounterable threats for control or for just matchups where you need just heavy hitters. Just something to come down and really, put pressure on the board. So yeah, I wasn't too sure about this list. I played a few games with it, and I'm pretty impressed with it. So yeah, let me know what you think, and let's head on into the games. All right. So, oh geez. Unfortunately, we're probably gonna have to take a mulligan here. That's a little unfortunate. All right. So this is a keep. Do I put back Rekindling Phoenix? I think I do. We have plenty of them to draw. And we'll play probably the Pathway on blue to play up. Okay, so our opponent is on a Fabled Passage, and let's see what they get. Interesting. Fetch for black. So this could be Swamp Pass. Terramander. I'm actually going to keep it and play it because I think I want to try and enable Charter Course, even though they probably have some removal here. Yep, okay, that was expected. That's okay. Again, it made them... Oh, shoot. Alright, what am I going to do about this? I think I'm playing this as a blue, but then playing Bone Crusher Giant just as a 3-4 or a 4-3. This is the mono black kind of mid-range deck, and they play Phyrexian Obliterator. Why are they playing Fabled Passage? I guess for Fatal Push? Yep, there's the Obliterator. So... God, it's just against us that it's really just... Yeah, I think I gotta just pass. Ayara. Just gain them Sylvice. I could counter this and try and race them. Yeah, I think that's actually what I have to do. So they can attack me for 5. Yuck. Fenlurker. I think I'm getting rid of this Flame Sweep. It's too clunky right now. Okay. I'm actually fine just casting up here and seeing what they got. Bone Crusher Giant. I don't think I want this. I think I need to get lands. Charter Course is not a land. Alright, I think I'm passing here. This is unfortunate because then they just get more cards with Phyrexian Arena, and I have to worry about Phyrexian Obliterator. And I don't have a lot of cards for this matchup either in the sideboard. Like, this is... I'm just not... This deck is not prepared for this matchup at all. So the Fenlurker can... Alright, that's fine. We get to Brazen Borrower. They go down to 11, yeah. We can actually Brazen Borrower. Okay, so now we get to bounce the Phyrexian Obliterator. They get to take Charter Course or Magma Spray. Yeah, that's probably the right choice. I think I'm passing. I'm actually fairly close, actually, to killing them here, because they haven't been able to connect with Obliterator. Yep. Do they just play Murderous Rider? Okay. So I'm actually not going to Magma Spray here, and there's a very good reason for that. I'm not Yarking this Fen Lurker, and that's because if I draw any other damage source, I want to be able to kill the Murderous Rider to make sure that they can't gain life. Let's go to my turn. So now I'm actually in a different spot. Now that I drew the Rekindling Phoenix, I actually think. Or do I chart a course here? This is a very difficult scenario. Actually, I'm at 18. You know what? I'm just casting the Phoenix here. Yeah. They could have 2 pieces of removal. That was disgusting. Oh, I'm dead. I can block. Oh, this is even as trample too, right? Cool. I'm dead. They waited for the exact moment, right moment. I did not have Gary. I totally was not thinking about Gary. All right. How do we win this matchup? Do we win this matchup? So we can Narset, I guess, to stop them from drawing cards with Obliterator. Why is this arena's being weird? Apparently I can't zoom in on Narset. There's not much I have for this matchup, in reality. This is whenever you draw a card. Yeah, it's whenever they cast an instant sorcery. I think Narset is really the only thing that really does anything. I guess I can get rid of Flame Sweep because that didn't really do much. I don't think it's going to do anything. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of Flame Sweep and put in Narset, and that's kind of all I think I'm really able to do. My spell count isn't great though. There's nothing here that could really interest me. Even Mystical Dispute. Yeah, let's just see. This is not the match. I actually played this matchup before, and it's very bad. Like between Obliterator and just, you know, not having a way to get Obliterator Arena off the battlefield. This hand is not good. I actually think I mulligan this, even though it's like a playable hand. It's just so passive. Yeah. Alright, this is infinitely better. I get to do the Terramander into... I'm going to put Magnus right back. I get to Terramander into Chart a Course. And then we have Glorybringer as the top end. Come on. Wait, what? Why did they... I get to Chart a Course. And of course I draw 2 lands. Come on. They just have removal. Alright, cool. Alright, let's see what we can get. Alright, there's actually a Rekindling Phoenix, which is not bad. Play this and pass. Oh, I forgot that, I should have played Stephen. I guess it doesn't really matter. Alright, I'm just gonna Rekindling Phoenix. Yep, there's Obliterator. Alright, okay, Chart a Course is actually pretty good here. If they play Gary, I'm gonna be super salty. Glorybringer is actually not bad here. If we can avoid a Gary... Okay, we did not avoid a Gary. Um, can I even win this game anymore? Um, so if I attack for this, it's 9, and then this would cost enough next turn. So if they don't have anything, they have literal nothing, then I can swing for lethal next turn. Removal on Terramander ruins my day. Yeah, this is not a great. And the biggest thing is, like, I can't exert on this because it would just delay my clock by too much. Yeah, I just have to. This is the only way that I win the game. It's just them having nothing, or them messing up. There's no other way that I win the game. Alright, Ebon Legion's fine. Okay, they just had a second Gary. I wasn't beating. Yeah, cool. All right. Right, because even ionizing the Gary there would put me too far behind the clock. I needed to play the Glorybringer that turn and them not to have lethal. All right, that's fine. All right. Alright, so this hand is a little slow, but I'm actually going to keep it. Play Spire Bluff first. If we could draw any 2-mana card, 1 or 2-mana card, would be infinitely better. Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize my Ionize, or one of my 4-drops. Kind of okay with that. Phoenix, okay. Interesting that they let us keep our Ionize. Oh, there's Sultai? Ah, I see. Interesting that they just let us have Ionize. Maybe they don't care. Oh, is Sultai control? Interesting. Huh. So they could Mystical Dispute us. Yeah, I guess we'll just pass. Wait for them to do something. You're gonna play something? Except for creatures you control with flying. So Flame Swifts actually does remove this, so I'm actually gonna do that. And then I'm gonna cast Chandra. Where do I wait to Ionize? Dang, they could have they could have. That's the thing, is like, this is so bad into Nissa. I think there's not a really good way of playing around it though. Just gonna put this on red and
It's my turn. Oh, this is gonna hurt.
I guess, like, also even then I still deal a little bit of damage with Chandra. Ashiok. Alright, I guess we'll exile this.
Recoil to the recess of your mind.
And let's just deal you 2 more damage.
Today's my lucky day.
Thoughtseize, K. Really? Why would you take Ionize over Charticors when I'm down just low on cards? They have something. Yeah, there's the Nissa.
Witness the ties that bind the fool. The land fights for us.
Glorybringer off the top would be sweet.
Now you're asking for it.
Terramander. Let's just chart a course. Flame Sweep doesn't do anything, unfortunately. I'm just gonna tick up,
This'll be easy.
deal some damage. So I could go for lethal with Brazen Borrower, or I could... yeah, I think that's what I'm doing here, and then seeing if they have, you know, something for after. If they remove it, then my Terramander can at least... And I'm not at risk of dying anytime soon. But yeah, there's a chance that this Brazen Borrower just is lethal. That's kind of the only chance I have. Narset, okay. So I get to see whatever our opponent gets here. It's a removal spell, or whatnot. Maelstrom Pulse, okay, that is sorcery speed.
Creeping, thieving.
Yep, this is all fine.
Rise, my elemental friend.
This would be really awesome if we just get to just sneak out the win.
This is a waste of my time.
GG's? Oh no, they have a counter spell. They have a counter spell? I think they have a removal Oh my goodness! What? That is crazy. Alright, so let's bring our Mystical Disputes. Otherwise... I don't think I want much else. I guess maybe Niv... even Niv Mizzet doesn't seem great here. This is whenever you cast an instant or sorcery too. It's not a non-creature, which isn't great. Awakened Inferno can kind of get rid of some of the, you know, creatures that they had lying around. That might be better than Flame Sweep. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna put in Chandra. Otherwise, I guess I want to get rid of all the Flame Sweeps, but then actually, let's get rid of Magma Spray. Is Lightning Axe good? I don't think so. But what am I putting in instead? Narsets? I really wish that Lightning Axe could hit Planeswalkers. That would make it so. That would be so good in this matchup. I think I'm gonna leave in the Lightning Axes for the Hydra Graces, and then put in the Niv Mizzet. I think that's all I'm doing. I think Magma Spray is not where I want to be at, obviously. But definitely the Mystical Disputes is going to be a much better upgrade. Alright, this actually isn't bad. This is a pretty good hand just normally. Ooh. Phoenix. Alright, so there's Terramander. We can follow it up with Stomp from Bone Crusher. What you got? Eliminate? Sure. Do I want to Stomp now? I think the answer is no. This Uro. Alright, I'm just gonna Stomp here. They can have a counter spell, but that's fine. Gates. Okay. Let's just keep doing our thing. I'm actually okay with this. I'm gonna let them have this because this lets us. Oh wow, they don't even get a. They don't even get a spell, and then I can just do this. smack the Narset, cast for Kindling Phoenix. And now we're in such a good position. They're also missing land drops. Wow. So we got a little lucky, but I think, as you saw, just like the adventure creatures just looked super solid there. Man, just the nuts again. You got Terramander into Charticourse with some decent spells to back it up. I will keep any hand with Terramander and Charticourse. Just straight up. I will do it. I will do it. You think I won't, but I will. Brazen Borrow is a nice follow-up. I won't say no to that. It's another Simic deck. Let's see, Explore. I've seen Neoform decks play that. I've also seen just the normal Sultai decks. Okay, that looks like Teamer. That kind of scares me. A lot. Alright. Let's draw some cards. By that I mean draw some lands. We have Pathway to play the Brazen Bar if we want to. A lot of tap lands from our opponent, which is kind of strange. Probably playing a pretty greedy deck, whatever it is. Because they haven't played anything, yeah. Let's see what they play here, if they play anything. Yeah, I'm just gonna jam Brazen Bar, I think. Okay, Essence Scatter, okay. Well, hello, target for Essence Scatter that they might no longer have. So they clearly have some response. It might just be the Fabled Passage, but I just gotta slam my cards here. Because I have ops to kind of filter through my deck afterwards. But yeah, they might have some counters here. But I think it's better than they don't. Castle Garrett, what is this deck? You've seen counter spells. Counter spells and Explorer, then Castle Garrett Break. 6 mana for creatures only. This could be Beanstalk Giant. Like that would be although that's not a Hydro Crisis. Alright, okay. Alright. If we can find a Lightning Axe, that'd be awesome. That's not a Lightning Axe. I actually want to keep that because yeah. I'm gonna okay. Bone Crusher Giant. I think I pass here. This is rough because like I wish I hadn't used that 2. I wish I just had the Bone Crusher Giant instead of spending the 2 mana, but obviously nothing's perfect. It's another Hydro Crisis. You gotta be kidding me. They just drew Crisis into Crisis. We'll get to counter it if we want. This would be a Crisis for 6. Yeah, I don't think we can beat this body. I think I have to counter this. could just dump all of my spells into this. This would be 1, 2, and then 3, 6 mana. And this would be at 6 and it'll cost 2. So this wouldn't get to adapt. But I could also just double attack. And if they block here, I can Magma Spray it or Bone Crusher it. Yeah, I guess that's what we do here. I guess I don't want to do this. I think I just want to attack with the Terramander now that I think about it. Yeah, that's why I wanted to counter the Hydro Curses, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to pressure them. Because they're a teamer, it's unlikely that they have any kind of yes, I will take this. Let's just play that. Pass. So, like, yeah, since they have they're just teamer, that they probably don't have any way to exile the Rekindling Phoenix. As I say that. Oh. I like how they cast, like, 2 relevant spells this game, and it drew them. Yeah. Yeah. It's some nice cards you got there. The only way I win this game is by removing Ugin, so I'm going to do this just in case I draw something, and I don't. Cool, we're gonna concede. I really want to speak to the person who put Ugin in standard. I have many words to say to them. Alright, I'm gonna put Mystical Dispute in this deck. Otherwise I have no idea. I think Chandra is kind of a good idea. Otherwise I don't know what to do. Let's get rid of Flame Sweep. And let's get rid of Magma Sprays. Just put in a Narset. And I think we're good. Just like before. It's the same deck. It's just another Sultai or a blue-green ramp deck. I still want to keep the Lightning Axes just because there's a lot of Hydro Crisis running around. That would have been good to draw those past few turns. And yeah, let's do this. Alright, play first. And I like this hand actually a lot. Because you have Terramander on turn 1, and we have some counter magic and removal to back it up. I would be interested to know if maybe like something like Curious Obsession would be good in this deck, but I don't think so. We're fine to play the Mountain next turn because we got the Pathway, and we're not casting double blue spells. Unless we draw a blue spell, maybe I might consider it. So what I'm thinking here. Tap land, of course. Chart a course. What's up? Yeah, let's just chart it up. Nice. Okay, so those are all really good. We play this as a blue source, and then we have Mystical Dispute and Brazen Borrower, and can follow that up to Rekindling Phoenix. I stand by that. I think Rekindling Phoenix is still going to be good, besides if you discount Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. Okay, and double tap land from our opponent. Okay, we draw another Brazen Borrower. Let's play this as a blue source and attack. Whammy. there's no point in casting it on my main phase because they could have Mystical Dispute, and if they do use a counter spell, I want them to use it on their turn, not mine. So that I can resolve Rekindling Phoenix, hopefully. That's the goal here. Ooh, row. That's fine. That is not something I'm going to counter. So our opponent here is you know, it's unfortunate because they have it so that they have the stop set up so that they have the 2 triggers, that don't auto go onto this deck, but that's fine. I have it like that too, but usually I'm pretty quick to click through it. Alright. So now that they've casted a row, my plan's changed just a little bit. Because, well, maybe now it's changed again, because I have Terramander, because I can Mystical Dispute and still have more pressure. But I think still, though, I think I'm just, they don't cast anything I want to counter, then I'll just Brazen Borrower. What you got, opponent? Cavalier of Thorns. Puts a land onto the battlefield? I could just not Brazen Borrow it, but Petty Theft it back. Yeah, I think that's what I have to do, unfortunately. Even though it puts them closer. Oh, they milled the Ugin. Oh, but they also milled the Uro. I forgot that they milled the Uro. That's probably a reason that I should have countered. I'm just going to Petty Theft the Cavalier to put some pressure. Okay, Sulfur Falls was actually a welcome include, or a welcome addition to the hand. Because now, and also drawing the Sulfur Falls means that I can Mystical Dispute and Brazen Borrower. Although, if they just recast Cavalier of Thorns, they're going to want a Mystical Dispute, so I actually think I just cast Terramander here. This way I can I've added to the board and I can still Mystical Dispute if I want to, or, yeah, so I expect Uro to be coming down here, in which case, it's unfortunate. Oh, well, now I'm Mystical Disputing this. Chandra Awakened Inferno. So here's the thing. They are 1 mana away from casting Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Yeah, I think if they cast Ugin the Spirit Dragon here, I'm going to want to have this Brazen Borrower. Yep, there he is. Yeah. Interestingly enough, what to do here? Yeah. Unfortunate. I hope I draw a land, actually. If I can play Chandra Awakened Inferno here... So here's... Actually, no. Yeah. This is easy. So I just attack here, and then I'm -4 on even the Spirit Dragon.
You know who I am, and no one is telling me what to do. Utterly
Perfect. And now they Uro, I get to keep their life total in check, even though they get to draw some cards. And then I have Chandra's emblems, as well as Rekindling Phoenix can block the Uro and come back, potentially. Hello. Yeah. Let's do that. I know this seems kind of weird, but,
Let's get toasty.
could also just Raisin Bar, or I could Rekindling. I actually think I want to Rekindling Phoenix. I guess this doesn't really matter. It does kind of matter, actually, now that I think about it. If they rat the board here, you know. Although I haven't seen... Oh, nice. Alright, sweet. So we at least took a game off. That makes me feel a little better. I think I'm fine here. I think this is what we need. I don't think Dim Izzet or another Narset is what I need. Just keep with what we got. Maybe putting in an Narset over, you know, one of these, you know, spells or something. But nah. No, I like the way this is right now, and I think the Chandra Awakened Inferno was perfect, the way it played out. Alright. So, this hand is... interesting. See, this is funny. This is always the issue with Opt, is that the hand could be anything. These two cards could be anything. I don't think it's a mulligan, unfortunately. I don't know if this hand can do it, though. We'll see. I think with the Ionize, I'm leaning towards keeping it. Because also they just don't do anything for like the first 2-3 turns. Okay. You know what? That's a you know, a welcome to the team, Rekindling Phoenix. I don't think I've ever seen. I would love to see this card in foil because I'm just like looking at it, and I just love the art on it. It's beautiful wings. All right. Yep. Expected something like that. Yep. Alright, we'll take a Mystical Dispute. Okay. Gonna have to take a Mystical Dispute. Okay. What you got, opponent? Explore, sure. Explore all you want. Sure. Give me those lands. Give me those lands. I think we're just passing here, right? This seems fair, right? Our opponent has 6 mana, we have 3 mana. This seems fair. No, no problems here. No problem at all. Right? I'm sorry, 7 mana. Elder Gargaroth. It's actually fine because we can just raise and borrow that back to their hand. Do I want to do that just yet? I actually think I'm gonna opt first. Okay, let's grab that. Yeah, I think I just wanna bounce it. I could just, yeah. Rekindling Phoenix. I'm hoping to draw a land here so I can bounce it and then like potentially like ionize it or something. They could also just play a land in Ugin, and I will probably scoop. Yeah, I think I'm just doing it again. Time walk you. Do I really get to Mystical Dispute this? Seems unfair. That seems very unfair. Why do I get to Mystical Dispute that? He's a ramp deck. I'm just gonna chart a course here. Cause he either plays something that I want to counter, or it'll just Brazen Bar end of his turn. So now he's gonna probably activate Castle Garenbrig, because he's like, ah man, last time he got me. I can't do that. Although I don't think this works, right? Yeah, because the mana still can only be... I don't know how that interaction is, if you're able to pay for Mystical Dispute with this mana. I don't think so. Hydroid Krasis. Actually think I allow that. And then probably just play a Brazen Bar on the end step. Even though I'm not going to attack with it, I might as well use the mana. If an Ugin ever resolves, I'm kind of just dead. I think I just attack with the Rekindling Phoenix and then use Stomp to trade with the right. Yep, it's to be expected. Okay, we'll Stomp this. And I can actually chart a course first to see if I get a land that doesn't deal me damage, like this mountain. So if they just, like, you know, slam Ugin here or something, I can counter it. They haven't shown to have Mystical Disputes, so maybe they don't run it. Okay, so this looks like this is another Hydroid Krasis. I will counter a second Hydroid Krasis. Cavalier. Yeah, I think I'm countering that. They have a second Cavalier? Please don't. That actually wouldn't be the worst. If they just remove the token, yeah, I see them eyeing over the token. If they just remove the token, I'm actually okay with that to a certain degree. Just a 3/3 Hydroid Crisis. Sorry, but that's not good enough. We have Big Dragon. So now I think I just play this untapped and pass, right? So now if they have Ugin the Spirit Dragon, I just Brazen Bar end step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they only have 1 blue up after that. I have not seen a single red card, so I believe that the Ketri Triumph is just for cycling, or the card type. Okay, Arrow's fine. I guess a little annoying. If they just escape it, then we have lethal with our Brazen Borrower. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. And they have 2 mana left. I guess they did still have Essence Scatter, which is unfortunate. But if that's the case, I still deal 7 damage a turn, whereas they only deal, or gain 3. I still have plenty of spells, thanks to the adventures. So I'm actually going to Brazen Borrower here to give myself the best chance of not losing to Essence Scatter. Right here they can draw a bounce spell or something, but unless they have something that can deal with the board here, they're not in a great spot. Maybe? Maybe? Just maybe. Also, by the way, Terramander here is a 2-mana 5/5. I will just note. Wow. And there we go. Izzet Midrange able to tussle with Sultai Midrange, right? And Simic Midrange. I'm not really sure what our opponent's configuration here was. It looked a little off, and I think they're definitely missing some cards, like not seeing a single Mystical Dispute that entire game. Yeah. Alright, so there we go. What's the takeaway here? What did we learn? So I think Terramander into Chartercourse is just a great curve that I think not a lot of decks are trying to deal with right now. Not a lot of decks, leading with Fatal Push on turn 1, usually sacrificing that for something like Thoughtseize, or just tapped lands. Rekindling Phoenix is still really, really good. It's a powerhouse in the standard, and I think it could still be a contender here, even though it hasn't seen a home in a lot of decks so far. Yeah, the adventure creatures, great. Ionize, great. Lightning Axe and Magma Spray didn't do too much here, and neither did Flame Sleep, but, I still, support them. The only thing that I would say from our games here is that definitely the mono black deck, definitely a weakness for Phyrexian Obliterator in particular. I'm not really sure how you would play against that. You could have some Essence Scatters, or something like it. Some more bounce spells. I'm not really sure. But at the end of the day, I don't really think it's worth it. I just think that's just not the matchup that this deck is intended for. I think it really showed its power facing against both of the Simic decks, the Uro decks, and the Thoughtseize decks. Right, our opponent Thoughtseize is us. We top deck. We top deck into Terramander and Chartercourse, and we just get our cards right back. Or just have good card quality with cards like Brazen Borrower, Bone Crusher Giant, and Rekindling Phoenix. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this deck. I know I am. I'm looking for a really solid Izzet list that's not just like a hardcore control list. I love playing these kind of weird, kind of towing the line between kind of aggro, mid range, and control. Like it's kind of all of them, but none of them. It's just this really interesting, very flexible deck that can play a lot of different ways. So yeah, again, if you enjoy my content, want to see more of my deck techs, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I have a ton of deck techs for Historic. I have a few on Standard. I'll probably be doing more Standard deck techs once Call Time comes about. Do some card reviews and stuff like that. So yeah, all right, I'll see you guys next time.